Welcome to the 2022 AVP New Orleans Open. Buckle up because we're taking the party from Bourbon Street to the Bayou with beach volleyball coming at you all weekend long, in the heat and under the stars. Just a few weeks ago for stop number 1 in Austin, Texas, it was Taryn Float and Kristen Nuss staking their claim on the women's side.
Oh my goodness! Kristen Nuss unloads.
Taking down reigning world champions Sarah Pavin and Melissa Humana Paredes. Well, for the men, a name we've called time and time again.
Phil Dahlhauser. Block. Phil Dahlhauser.
Phil Dahlhauser and his temporary partner, Andy Benish, took home the top prize, beating the ever-firing Troy Field and Chase Buttinger. We may be in the Big Easy, but the level will be anything but. It's time to shake the tree here at Coconut Beach. It's the AVP New Orleans Open, and it all starts right now. It's time for the heat and the glory of Championship Sunday, the second stop on the 2022 AVP Tour. It's New Orleans. Welcome on in. Cameron Irwin alongside Dane Blinn, and we are having a great start to Championship Sunday from Coconut Beach Volleyball Complex. We're starting off on the men's side with a little bit of contenders bracket matchup. It is Billy Allen, Jeremy Casebeer, Paul Lotman, and Miles Partain. Right now, they are all fighting for a spot into the semifinals here on Championship Sunday. We've got Mark Sherman down on the sand.
You know, I love that beach volleyball is a lot more than California now. A lot of times when people think about beach volleyball, they immediately think of California. But no, we are all over the country, all over the world. New Orleans has an incredible beach volleyball community. Ah, yes, own it. Yes. But you know what? There are still a lot of players from California, just like these four guys. So let's meet four SoCal guys, shall we? First up, this guy, just 20 years old, out of Pacific Palisades, California, an insane athlete. Grew up with a volleyball court. Well, not really a volleyball court. It's sort of like a third of a court, maybe, a little net in his backyard. It's pretty sweet. He comes from UCLA, Mr. Miles Partain. And his partner out of sunny SoCal, out of Lakewood, California, a phenomenal indoor athlete out of Long Beach State, and it's been fun watching him here on the beach for the last number of years. Let me hear it for Paul Lotman. Where do you want to be from, Billy? Originally out of Fallbrook? What are we saying? Fallbrook, California. He's like, I'm technically boring Idaho now. I'm sorry if you're from Idaho. I'm sure it's an amazing place. But out of Fallbrook, California, and my alma mater, Cal State Northridge, go Matadors, it's Billy Allen. And his partner out of Santa Barbara, California, also a Bruin from UCLA, it's Jeremy Casebeer.
All right, Cameron Irwin alongside Dane Blinn, and these four individuals are ready to rock and roll here on Championship Sunday. You've got Jeremy Casebeer and Billy Allen on the left side of your screen. On the right side, it's the young gun. That is Miles Partain at the service line, just 20 years old, partnered up with the Olympian. That's Paul Lotman up at the net. First ball going to Jeremy Casebeer. And the first side out to Jeremy Casebeer. Dane, what are you thinking on this one? What are some of the expectations between these two styles of play?
Well, I like what I see right out of the gate from Casebeer. I want to see him be as aggressive as possible. You know, he played an entire match yesterday without an ace, and that is rare for him. So he's got to get to that back line. He's got to go for it from this first whistle all the way until the end.
Yeah, that's a great call by you, Jeremy Casebeer, one of the toughest servers on the tour. He did have about 4 aces, though, in their last matchup on the night just a few hours ago over Evan Corey and Billy Kalinsky, winning in 2 sets. I believe he had 4 in that match alone.
I also think that his partner, Billy Allen, one of the best defenders out there, just a cagey player. You know, he's won twice on the AVP. He's got a huge volleyball IQ, and there's a big dig. He's going to have to make a few of these plays and convert on them if they're going to be successful here.
Yeah, it's a great call by you as Miles Partain tosses that one into the high line and the point his direction.
Miles Partain, a little crossbody hit right there. It's dug. And then Billy's got to put that ball away. You're not going to get a ton of opportunities. And then it's Partain with a nice roll to the corner.
The 20-year-old serving to the 40-year-old in Billy Allen. Nice pull dig from Paul Lotman. As he chops that down, Paul Lotman, 36 years of age, 6'7". Was an outside hitter for our U.S. men's national team, an Olympian in that.
I think another big aspect of it, Cameron, is going to be the battle at the net. Does Lotman win the battle or Casebeer? Who can have more blocks, really control some of the jousts? Because you know there's going to be a lot of net play in this one.
Yeah, and that's a great call by you as that ball is served long. Jeremy Casebeer, 6'5", and what's wild in the game of beach volleyball, if you're new to it, 6'5" on the men's side is actually somewhat a little bit undersized as a blocker, surprisingly enough. But Jeremy Casebeer has been working very severely on those blocking moves, trying to be as dynamic as possible over the last several years. As the first option play shows up, and Dane, we saw a lot of that yesterday.
Yeah, Cameron, and you and I talked about this right before the match. This is a huge weapon for the youngster. Miles Partain being a left-handed player, he plays the right side, so Lotman has that luxury of putting the ball up at the net, and Partain can really be an offensive force. He can also be very deceptive, still set Lotman, but get the blocker to jump. So real dynamic play by Miles Partain. Can he do that throughout this entire match?
Casebeer had a second chance opportunity, but a tough ball nonetheless. 5-3 now, Partain and Lotman with the advantage.
Been a great tournament so far, Cameron. This weather, absolutely perfect and very lucky. You know, when you come to Louisiana, at times, sometimes you get flooding, you get all sorts of weather, and I think we've been really lucky. And all the players so fired up on playing in such great weather.
The heat has been on point here in New Orleans as the sky ball comes, falling like the sun. And here's Jeremy Casebeer. Deep middle.
Jeremy Casebeer for 4-5.
Jeremy Casebeer, one of the most dynamic players and one of the fittest athletes out here. Right here, he just burns it down the middle. We call that the seam. The blocker's taking line and the digger is in the angle, and you just go right down the middle. Nicely executed.
And you just got a glimpse at the block defense setup from Jeremy Casebeer. Decides to pull, and Billy Allen gets a nice stab with the left hand. What does the defense look like now? Billy right off the shoulder.
6-4.
And how about that, Cameron? Right in the middle of transition play, they go with the option, and you see how it catches the defense completely off guard. Allen and Casebeer not ready and not set up for that ball to be crossing the net at that time.
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, in terms of block defense. When you have a lefty on the other side of the net, how does that change maybe what your traditional setup might be?
Well, from a blocking standpoint, your angles and your lineup are slightly different as Lotman gets a stuff down right there. But Casebeer's played, Partain before. He knows what a lefty looks like, and I don't think he'll have any problem. The fact that he's a lefty, he'll have a problem because how high that Partain hits that ball.
A great call. Just some minor adjustments in terms of vision and setup as Jeremy Casebeer, again, big time swing, trailing by 2.
Yeah, he's opted to hit that seam a couple times. It's so hard to defend the seam. Usually the defender's going to commit to an angle or a line, and that middle ball is open, and you're seeing Casebeer execute.
Clear the runway. Here comes Jeremy Casebeer. Little help from the net.
That's the Jeremy Casebeer that I know, Cameron, going for it. If he goes for it more times than not, he puts his team in a much better situation. You want to put the pressure on Partain and Lotman. Remember, Partain, just 20 years of age, has a ton of beach volleyball experience, but you still want to test him. He hasn't won a tournament yet. He's still learning the game, so go for it.
Going for it again. Lotman steps into that, and look at the push set. Long ball, and it's inbound. The glorious hands of Miles Partain, a phenomenal indoor setter, and also brilliant on the beach.
Yeah, Miles Partain, in his sophomore season at UCLA, was voted Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Player of the Year. So just a sophomore and already complete domination at the collegiate level. It's going to be fun to watch his career blossom. I'm going to make a prediction. He will be playing in the Olympics, possibly indoor and on the beach one day.
Nostradamus making his return as Paul Lotman sends that on the option. Nice touch again. Tight ball.
Let me hear it for Casebeer.
Goes the direction of Jeremy Casebeer.
Keep the play alive.
How about
You never
Casebeer with
know.
a back right there, Cameron, and then he gets up at the net and it ends up winning the joust. Here's the joust at the end. He presses into the court and uses Miles Partain. Beautiful athletic play by Casebeer.
Diminishing the difference. 1 point now. Allen and Casebeer trailing. Big swing.
On the right side.
Wow, Miles Partain showing how he can get to that next level and just snap the ball. Such beautiful techniques as he gets up and cracks that wrist at the top of his swing.
Oh man, I wish our viewers could have seen your face after that one. Said it all.
Way up there off the top of the hand, Jeremy Casebeer.
You see that stat about the team going 3 sets. I would not be surprised at all seeing this one go 3 sets and into overtime. These two teams very evenly matched, and I think we're going to be back and forth. I bet this one goes more than an hour possibly, Cameron.
Yeah, you saw it on screen, but Miles Partain and Paul Lotman earn another side out, but have played 3 three-set matches here in New Orleans. The first over Tim Baumgren and Peter Marciniak, finished 15-11 in the third. The second, the victory over Andy Benish and Nick Lucena, was 18-16 in the third with a victory. And then the loss to Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander last night, 10-15 in the third. Partain is there. Check down.
Out of bounds.
And Miles misses that wide from the left side.
Yeah, the whole line was open there. He went for the high level of difficulty cross court from the left side and just missed the sideline. Sometimes you just want to stick with the simple play, even with all that athleticism.
On 2. Miles Partain, 1-9. And 1 point.
I don't know what to do with that play right there. If you're defending it, do you commit on the option or do you wait? You know, you just have to be crafty as a blocker. You're not going to win them all, but if you can stop him with just a couple times, it would benefit.
11-9 now. Let's see if they can maybe start to slow down that option as the pass goes awry. And Billy Allen making something out of that pass. 11-10 into the technical timeout. These two teams playing for a spot in the semifinals.
We're keeping it cool here in New Orleans with Waiakea. Cool down because it's going to be hot today. Cool down with some Waiakea.
Time for the White Claw Pure Spike of the day. Who's it coming from? Let's take a look. And here it is. The White Claw Pure Spike of the day, Miles Partain.
Love that hit right there. Miles Partain not only can go crossbody, he can go away from body. So his range is massive, so difficult to stop.
Just 20 years old under the umbrella. A little bit of that rookie and veteran partnership between Miles Partain and the Wannabes. Wow. That Cap Jack?
They're the ones that look like referees yesterday.
Wow, they put some serious effort and time into their costumes. The authenticity is just off the charts.
Coming back out of the technical timeout if you're just joining us. These two teams, the 5 and 7 seed here in New Orleans. Billy Allen and Jeremy Casebeer, the 5 seed. They're coming out of the contenders bracket right now, so looking for a spot in the semifinals in just a few short hours, and then hopefully a spot in the final. And again, tough serve from Casebeer into the middle. How about that dig, Billy Allen? Is it good? The bump cut.
Awesome on that point. Awesome.
Billy Allen is everywhere.
That was amazing right there. That's what I'm talking about, Cameron. Billy Allen has to step up defensively and have some huge digs as he did just right there, and fortunate to win the point.
Here's
right
the
here,
TNNS dig of the day. Yeah, Billy Allen. Again, the TNNS dig of the day at the hand of Billy Allen, or heck, you could even give it to Miles Partain there.
Yeah, they're all over the court right there, and that's what we knew we would get. He dug in, Billy Allen waiting for that ball, puts it up, and then Partain says, I can do the same with the dig, and almost places a winner, and then Casebeer able to put it in the corner. How about Billy Allen, 40 years of age, and still doing it like he's 20?
12-11 Partain and Lotman. And Lotman decides to go with the small jump float instead of the aggressive jump topspin serve we've seen from him throughout the tournament. Billy Allen chance starting here in New Orleans in Stadium Court. Always a fan favorite. Standing down ball from Miles Partain.
Partain trying to be a little crafty. A flat-footed kind of dump over to the corner was not fooled at all right there, and costly giveaway on that point.
tight ball and a cagey play from Billy Allen.
Nice little run here from Jeremy.
You like it
So
what you're seeing
smart,
from Billy
right
Allen.
there. Yeah, I mean, this is what I said. If he can make some spectacular plays in the backcourt, he's going to put his team in the right position. And I love how Casebeer threw that ball right up on the net, rolled the dice. You got to risk it. No risk, no reward. And Billy Allen knows how to use a blocker.
How about that? Another great dig. Watch out, stands. Here comes Jeremy Casebeer.
Oh my, oh my.
Sacrifice the body,
Billy
win the point.
Jeremy.
So smart. Billy Allen is catching absolute fire in the backcourt. Let's take a look at this one. He waits in the middle of the court, then breaks to the line, digs the driven ball, and somehow Casebeer is able to flip it back in a hittable position, and Billy does the rest. How about that? A
Well, we're gonna
three-point
take
lead.
timeout. What a run here by Allen and Casebeer.
So 15 to 12 forces a timeout on the side of Partain and Lotman. Billy Allen has absolutely caught fire. He's currently playing in his 116th career AVP tournament, so experience definitely on his side. And it's fun if you think about what he was able to do even last year. He was partnered up alongside Andy Benish. Take a look at some of the numbers for those two in terms of number of tournaments. But he was partnered up alongside Andy Benish and was helping him kind of develop. And now you've seen what Andy's been able to do in just the last few tournaments as well. But it's been fun to see these two veterans step on the court together. When you bring experience like that, I mean, everyone always talks about experience, but what does that actually mean, Dane? How does that play in?
Well, it's huge. And Billy Allen, a real likable guy. I don't know if I've ever met anybody who doesn't like Billy Allen. So a player like that, that's very cerebral, knows how to coach, knows the game so well. If you're a younger player, you know, you want to be around that. You want to partner up with someone who can teach you the nuances, the ins and outs of the game. But Billy Allen is dangerous every single time he steps on the court, as we're seeing. He can make spectacular plays, and he's always poised to be playing on Championship Sunday.
That's a great call by you. One of the most likable and also most poised, and right now, incredibly dynamic alongside his partner, Jeremy Casebeer.
We've seen a little bit of this out of Casebeer. He's bringing back the Stokey backflip. Look at this. It's a back flip of the ball into the court, and he did it last night. I've seen him doing it today, and it's been effective and worked for him.
I like that call out for Stokey. 16-12. They toss one easy to Lotman, and he's going to say thank you.
Yeah, Randy Stokos would be proud of Casebeer's back flipper. It's fun when you see moves that people haven't done in quite some time. You know, who's really good at the defensive back flippers is Casey Patterson. He loves to lay it out and kind of flip that ball up.
Good call, tight ball. And Billy Allen shouting, partner sorry, knowing that ball is well beyond the net.
Allen and Casebeer have done some damage, and they're looking not to give it back with freebies right there. You get a 3-point lead against this team. You got to settle down, side out, and finish it out.
Ace serve, Miles Partain.
Gets an ace right up the middle, 3 straight points for
Love that aggressive play by Partain. Starting in the middle of the court, really ripping it, making the opposition make a decision, and Allen and Casebeer couldn't figure it out, and they've seen enough.
Final timeout of set number.
Yeah, and Miles Partain has been on a bit of a riot in terms of service pressure throughout this tournament, hitting nearly an ace per set. He had 9 coming into today, or excuse me, he had 8 coming into today, now making it 9.
21-18 over Skylar Del Sol and Andrew Bentler. Just underway in set number 2. After the first side switch, we're looking at 5-3 for Bentler and Del Sol.
Not a lot of talk going on in this timeout. Just a little bit of a break, a little rest. Partain and Lotman starting to get a lot of momentum. And the whole idea of this timeout was for Casebeer and Billy Allen to slow things down. Remember, they had a 3-point lead, and that is diminished quickly with the aggressive play of Partain.
There's a look at where we are. The winner of this moving on to the semifinals. Who will they face? Well, that's going to be a tough question. Will it be Taylor Crabb and Taylor Stander? That would be the matchup. I believe they actually already played them once just last night. Actually, the winner of this would face Dahlhauser and Patterson.
Oh my, Billy.
Snap down, Billy Allen.
Billy Allen, you know, he's so deceptive. He looks like he's a shorter player because he's always playing with a taller blocker, but he's 6'2", and he's got a great vertical leap as well. He surprises you getting up the ladder and then just snapping that ball down, making it look easy.
Jump set. Oh, and Jeremy Casebeer was all over that, but just blocks out.
He played this one perfectly, Casebeer did. He did not bite on the set or the option. He just needs to press those hands back into the meat of the court to get that ball to stay in bounds, and he's got a great block.
There's the Lotman jump topspin serve. Good touch. It's got to go. Walking into that is Miles Partain, tight ball.
Miles Partain all over that
And a
one.
heads up
We are
play.
tied 17.
Well, that 3-point lead is completely disappeared now, and all four players starting to turn up their game. But that youngster, the 20-year-old Partain, absolutely everywhere. So deceptive. He just keeps giving you different looks. It's so hard to track it.
How about that dig? And looking for the flipper himself, while Lotman gets caught at the net.
I think Lotman was surprised at the elevation of Jeremy Casebeer. He wanted to just kind of flip this thing in bounds, but Casebeer, look how high he gets right here. Goes up over the top, aggressive play, and that always wins at the net.
18-17 now. We play to 21. Little meeting of the minds there between Casebeer and Allen, figuring out their block defense. And the option yet again. The attacks continue to rise for Miles Partain.
He like downshifts as he's going up. Looks like he's gonna crush the ball. He downshifts, then just rolls it over, nice and smooth. It's so important to have those power shots, but the finesse just as important.
Miles Partain with the body control. And big block, Wally Lotman. Talk about timing.
18.
Paul Lotman's form perfectly right there. You know, his background is in indoor where he played on the national team, and you can see the discipline as he presses over the net.
From 7 feet off and back-to-back blocks. Paul Lotman gets them to set point.
2018, it's set point. It's set
This
one.
is crazy. I mean, I think we were at 17-14 at one point, Allen and Casebeer, and this has been a complete turnaround for Partain and Lotman with some spectacular plays, and all of a sudden they're looking at set point.
A couple of balls have just been tossed into the lap and that right shoulder of Jeremy Casebeer. He works to the right and almost 3 straight blocks, but that ball is out of bounds.
We play on, back to a 1-point ball game.
Yeah, you better believe that Partain,
Casebeer.
Allen and Casebeer are thinking about that block up at the net right now because of its effectiveness. As you said, Cameron, almost 3 blocks in a row, and now they have an opportunity to just side out to take this set.
Where do they place this ball? They've been going short at Lotman at times, just tossing it in, but it's Jeremy Casebeer. He's going to go for it. And he gets an ace! Staying aggressive pays off.
2020.
Wow, that was gutsy right there, Cameron. Facing it, losing the set, had to turn it up. You want to have that balance of keeping that ball in and putting pressure on, and I think right there, he said, I'm going to throw it all out the window. I'm going for an ace. Let's see if he can do it again.
Just
But Casebeer
wide.
gets one from the line. We
Ooh,
go
that's
into
about as
overtime.
close
Gonna win
as it
by
can get.
2. Another set point.
Lotman and Partain having a conversation at the service line. Another set point opportunity. They go short, this time to the left.
Oh, let's switch sides.
It
Blackjack on
seems
the
as
board,
if they serve to that left
21-21.
sideline, essentially trying to keep
Allen
him
Casebeer
towards the
fight
pin
off
game.
3 set points.
Yeah, sometimes you want players out near the pin. Other times you want players coming out of the middle. It looked like they wanted to press Casebeer all the way to that left side and see what he could do. But right there, he's jumping really well, and I think Lotman's a little frustrated that he hasn't been able to block him as much.
Remember, he had those 2 back-to-back as the option again, but how about that? Turning that to the right sideline for Miles Partain.
Miles Partain is not limited by any stretch. He can play right side, left side, block, play defense. He's just an all-around great player, and he grew up in Pacific Palisades, and that is volleyball country right there, right near the beach, and has been playing for so long. He's got that innate volleyball IQ.
Set point.
Down the line, Jeremy Casebeer beating Miles.
And a much-needed side out, 22-22. Casebeer standing on the ground. We saw him work the ace, and then he missed the next ball. From the other side now, he's just going with the jump float and misses a second ball.
It's interesting, Cameron, going with a jump float, little good side, bad side. You're seeing the breeze in the flags in the background. That means Lotman and Partain are on the good side. That wind is in their face, whereas Allen and Casebeer are on the bad side, the wind to their back. That's why Casebeer wasn't able to really go for it on that last serve.
And Lotman was able to go for it from the service line, and it pays off. Set one, 24-22. You saw the tough serve go the direction of Jeremy Casebeer, and the pass just a bit too tight.
This is our YKA match of the day, and it is time for you two.
Let's take a look back at where there was a big shift in momentum on the side of Paul Lotman and his partner Miles Partain. The back-to-back blocks, some phenomenal play up at the net for Paul Lotman, and ultimately they put themselves in a very solid position, getting a couple shots at set point, and then ultimately finishing it off 24-22. Again, these two teams fighting for a spot in the semifinals. These two are one step closer. The AVP is brought to you by KT Tape, helping athletes of all levels train longer and finish stronger. By Wilson, where the power is with the players. Head over to wilson.com to shop and learn more now. By Waikea Hawaiian Volcanic Water. Live Aloha. Drink Waikea at waikea.com.
and by waste management. From recycling to renewable energy, we are working hard for a sustainable tomorrow.
Dear mainland, aloha. My brother and I hear lots of you have discovered a real Hawaiian favorite, Big Wave Golden Ale. That's the good kind stuff, yeah, bro. Maybe it's the island flavor that makes each sip taste like a little vacation.
Got your beers here.
That's a whole lot of little vacations right there, huh, brother? That's like a big vacation. Retirement. One life, right? Mahalo. Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing.
Total stops on the AVP Tour this year. And this is the second Welcome to Championship Sunday. We are into match number 2 on Stadium Court and into set number 2. Partain, Lotman, Allen, and Casebeer, Cameron Irwin, and Dane Blanton. Dane, that one, just 2 points of difference.
Yeah, Partain and Lotman, their hitting percentage a little bit better, and that's been the difference. Partain has had a lot of success, whereas Casebeer on the other side has had to deal with the ball block, and that, I believe, was the difference in the end. 3 blocks to 0, as you see out there. Other than that, a lot of the stats pretty close.
And Billy with the first kill, 1-0.
Not surprising with just a 2-point differential in set number 1. We did see some incredible defensive play from Billy Allen, who got lit up in multiple occasions, not only defensively, but offensively, taking some big-time swings. And the option, but from Lotman.
Yeah, and we talked about it prior to the game that this was going to go into overtime. Not surprised we went into overtime already in the first set. I expect to see that here. But it's that battle at the net. Lotman's winning the battle at the net with 3 blocks, but Casebeer's winning the battle on the back line with 2 aces. So they kind of canceled each other out.
Yeah, that's a great point, but you also have to think of the timing of those blocks. They were back-to-back late in set number 1. So let's see if one of these 2 blockers can get into an earlier blocking rhythm here in set number 2. 2-1 now. Heavy into the angle. Partain is there. And there's the lefty from the left side.
That's what he's so good at, is converting. He digs that ball perfectly. He pulls his approach in to be a little bit straighter, which you want as a left-hander on the left side. Comes in straight and then rips that ball at the retreating blocker. And Casebeer didn't have an answer.
That's a great call by you. Anytime Partain's digging that ball into the angle off a right-handed attack, he's going to be seeing a lefty on the left side, changing up some of his attack angle. Great call, Dane.
Yeah, in a match like this, Cameron, it's so close, and we talked about winning the back line, winning the net, whatever, in terms of the timing. You just never know when that one play is going to happen that's going to get you the victory because it is so even.
Wow, talk about working some feet in there for Jeremy Casebeer.
Back up the seam. 2-4.
Here's a good look at Casebeer, waiting, big gather, and then cross body. So right there, Jeremy, in the middle of the court, that goes to your point earlier. They may want to push him out to the pin because of his effectiveness in the middle.
And we'll take the switch, 5-2.
5-2 on the side switch. About 90 degrees here in New Orleans. These athletes have been battling through the heat and the humidity for 3 straight days now. In peak physical condition to be able to do so. Dane, it seems like at times both Lotman and Partain are tossing some high, deep, lofty serves the direction of Jeremy Casebeer without a whole lot of pace to them. You know, from a viewer's standpoint at home, you may be wondering why that is. Usually you're seeing so much velocity, but why these slow, floating, deep serves to Jeremy Casebeer?
Well, you know, I noticed that as well. They're really picking on Casebeer, trying to get him to move all over the place. Right there, you see a short serve. When you're going back to serve in Partain with a very uncharacteristic roll shot that goes out of bounds, but service location is just as important as velocity. Sometimes people will serve short, sometimes deep, so that the offensive player has to go the whole distance of the court to attack, and some players are not that good at doing it. So you always want to try and find that weakness by placing that ball as a server.
Partain to keep the lead, 6-4.
That's a great point. Sometimes placement is power.
I like that.
I'll let you use it from time to time over at SC. Cameron Irwin alongside Dane Blanton just won his second national championship back-to-back with the USC Trojans as the head coach. Also Olympic gold medalist and an epic broadcast partner. Partain, quick snap.
I don't know how you stop this guy, Partain. He's so deceptive and can hit just about anywhere on the court. Doesn't have, a consistent pattern. It's not like he hits crossbody all the time. He can show you so many different looks, and that's why I think his upside is just tremendous. I cannot wait to see the things that this kid's going to do.
Nice side out from Jeremy Casebeer. And it's funny because we talk about Miles Partain so much and his ability, but actually I asked Paul Lotman what his key takeaways were after day 1 of play here in New Orleans, and his first thought to me was, Miles is really good at volleyball, period.
I like that.
Some quick feet for Miles Partain and footwork on display.
Yeah, like you said, really good at volleyball. Look at that. The defense is set. That's what they want him to do, hit the line. But he hits it just too effectively, and he has such a high volleyball IQ, something that you can't really teach. It's something that comes with experience, and he's been playing on the beach for so long. He just has such a crafty game.
Let's switch sides.
I like that coming from Jeremy Casebeer. They're trying to give him a little bit more space, and instead he sees the angle block, goes high hands.
Get this, Cameron. Jeremy Casebeer has 32 attempts hitting already. His partner, Billy Allen, only 12. And Casebeer hitting 250 right now. That's why you're continuing to see the Partain and Lotman going with their game plan of going to Casebeer.
Great call out by you as Partain gets a little help from the net. And to note that even further, there's a reason you're staying away from Billy Allen right now. He's hitting 667. He has 0 errors in the match, 8 kills on 12 total attempts. And it's got to be challenging trying to get involved from that right side, and you're not seeing any of the serves. That's a nice cushion from Jeremy Casebeer.
10-6.
Just seems like Partain and Lotman have kind of cracked the code on Allen and Casebeer right now. It seems like everything going their way. Lotman's blocking really well. Partain's defense is there, and Allen and Casebeer have seen enough. You know, they're going to slow this thing down because this lead just continues to get expanded. I did not expect this here in the second.
Yeah,
10-6 forces the timeout. And in case you're wondering, the best finish for both Miles Partain and Paul Lotman came just a year ago. They did finish third in Chicago in 2021. And right now they are looking at potentially a shot at another semifinal. And then we'll see, who knows, could New Orleans be the shot for them to make it to their first final? As you take a look at our 2022 AVP schedule, 16 total stops. The one I can't wait for, to be back in Atlanta, that first Gold Series event under the lights again, like we are having so much fun here in New Orleans. Dane, which of these ones stands out to you?
Well, always the Gold Series, right? Atlanta, Chicago, Manhattan. Hermosa is not a Gold Series, but that's going to be a fantastic event. And then the Phoenix Championships on September 23rd and 24th could get very interesting. It's going to be an exclusive event. I think there's only 6 or 8 teams that make it, and that is based on your performance in the Gold Series event. So I like having that kind of culmination at the end, that championship. But the season, how awesome is it to have 16 events on the schedule?
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. And to your point, Dane, in talking to all of these athletes leading up to this season, everyone was pointing out that Phoenix event. Nice pickup from Partain, though.
Casebeer takes advantage of the overset.
How much do you point out of the timeout for Allen Casebeer?
Yeah, Lotman's got to set that ball. It's a beautiful one-handed stab by Partain, and then Lotman kind of overset it, gave Casebeer the advantage right there. And You've already done some damage. Now settle down, control it, side out well, and then capitalize if you get more opportunities.
And that is why you cover.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than covering a ball that you thought was going to be blocked. As a blocker, it's just demoralizing when you think you got a block and then it gets covered, and it can be a huge momentum swing. And I don't think that enough players put a premium on covering and the importance of it.
Another good call by you. I always felt like covering was more of a work ethic thing and a mentality. Got to stay focused on every contact. As Casebeer gets another side out.
That ball was called down.
Well, it is hard to cover because a lot of times people set the ball and they look at the defense and they're looking to give their hitter a call, and sometimes they forget that ball can come right back at you. But you got to be ready. And I agree with you, Cameron. I think it's one of those locked-in work ethic state of minds.
Yeah, without a doubt, 8-11 here. One of my favorite plays that's just remarkable because it requires so much control is the attackers that know they've gotten themselves into a trap set type of situation, and they use the block to purposely get the ball back, and they push that ball in and come right back. It's just phenomenal to me that these athletes have that much control.
Yeah, it's so smart. If it's tight, just use the block and then play it. You got 3 more contacts and you get renewed. It's hard for some players to learn that, but the more you're out here, the more you're in situations, and the higher your volleyball IQ gets.
Let's see if Lotman can dial up some tough service pressure. Man, I just love watching these guys go at it because they just continue to take bigger and bigger and bigger swings up at the net.
They help their contestant find the water first.
Yeah, it's wild, and no one's taking bigger swings than Jeremy Casebeer. 35 attempts already here, and we're, what, 1.5 sets into this one? He's hitting 314, but he does have 6 errors. I mean, I think by the end of this set right here, Casebeer is going to have over 40 attempts.
A lot of swings as he now has 17 kills, hitting 314. 2 aces to match that. There's a look at Billy Allen. Hey, in case, Dane, you needed some summer reading, I would highly suggest The Inner Night. It's a great parable for coaching, and the most recent book from Mr. Billy Allen, a great author as well. You can find it on Amazon. I already picked up my copy. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Billy just crushing it with the books. I mean, what book number is he on? Is that like his fourth or fifth? I know there's the Blood series.
I think that's the 6th. Yeah, he had Coach Your Brains Out with John Mayer, Good Blood, Dark Blood, one other, and so maybe the 5th. And The Inner Night is the most recent.
Is The Inner Night related to the other ones?
We come out of the tech 12-9.
No.
The young Miles Partain.
No, it is not.
Lotman looking to cruise into the semifinals. Allen,
I read Coach Your Brains Out, and of course, always liked the report, but it was an awesome book, especially as a coach. A lot of great nuggets you can take from that, and I'm going to take your lead on that and go get the latest.
Yeah, again, it's called The Inner Night. Lessons for players and coach, a little bit of a sports parable. How about that dig?
Oh, I love that play from Billy, but
And
Miles was
a
ready.
tad off speed from Miles Partain.
Right, I saw that as well, Cameron. I mean, he's like so composed, right? He gets up there, he's not panicky, he's not trying to just crush it and take your head off. He's like, let me find the shot that's going to work, the shot that's going to give me the point. Doesn't matter if there's all sorts of excitement behind it. He's just keeping it simple.
Great pass, but an even better block.
Casebeer, the other Bruin, on the court.
And finally, first block for Jeremy Casebeer. Lotman has 3, now Casebeer has 1, and Casebeer is really getting his money's worth here this championship Sunday. 35 plus kills, got a few aces, got a block on the board, and he's getting all sorts of action, and now he's catching fire.
We saw back-to-back blocks in set number 1 for Paul Lotman that seemed to change the tide. Now it's Jeremy Casebeer's turn. Make it another! Jeremy Casebeer is on fire.
So locked in, you can just see it right there. Talking to himself after, big crouch presses right over the net at the optimum time, and that ball goes straight down. And I believe that Partain
takes over in the net. We've got a team timeout. It'll be our final timeout of set number 2. Both these teams finding ways to go on scoring runs. This match will not be over until
Jeremy
that final
Casebeer now
ball
trailing by
drops.
1, 12-13, forcing a timeout by Partain and Lotman. You're wondering how to slow down Miles Partain? And Paul Lotman, well, Jeremy Casebeer seems to have figured out something. 17 kills, 3 blocks, and 2 aces for the Lorax.
Well, you know what, Cameron? I think that they got a little bit comfortable hitting by Jeremy because, you know, he was touching a lot of the hits, but they weren't going down for block. So when someone, even if they're a great blocker, if they're not having success, you should continue to hit at them. And I think Jeremy has locked in now, and I think Partain and Lotman are going to go to a little more finesse shots rather than power through them because they've paid the price dearly.
Yeah, and actually, I'm glad that you bring up the finesse because that's an area Paul Lotman has said from last year to this year was a major point of emphasis for him in terms of his training. He said he loves to hit hard angle, but he's been trying to work on some of those softer shots required in the game of beach volleyball.
How did he sneak in?
Probably want a cracker?
Here we go. We play till we have a winner in set 2.
Oh,
And he still goes with the base.
I was surprised Lotman was challenging right there, and he went right at Casebeer again. I thought I'd at least see a roll shot or a line shot in that last one.
No, he just goes back to the bread and butter. Why not? Swing away. Jump float. A little bit of a quicker tempo there out of the hands of Jeremy Casebeer.
Interesting, I think that they went to Billy Allen right there and not to Casebeer. I mean, Casebeer, his jump numbers are way up, and they've had some success with them making a few errors, but they've definitely served him quite a bit. And remember, Casebeer is running to the net every single time after he serves, so he's getting his work in, and you said it, Cameron, it's about 90 degrees out there.
That was a very late call from the line judge whether that ball was in or out, but ultimately ball just long going to the side switch. And it's interesting, you know, you wonder if it's a microcosm of the fact that they feel like Jeremy's getting hot in terms of his blocking. So maybe trying to cool him off, not let him get into that much of an emotional role. Just a thought.
Yeah, I like that. You know, when someone's on fire, they're on fire, and you kind of want to go away from them. So there's so many different ways you can approach it.
It's interesting, though, in terms of a block and defense. Could you segment them? Do you not? And another block, but this time it's Paul Lotman.
16-13 for Paul.
The battle of the net, we talked about who wins it at the net probably comes out victorious in this match right now, and they've been trading back and forth right now, both Casebeer and Lotman on fire.
3 blocks for Paul Lotman, 4 for Jeremy Casebeer.
Partain
And an ace, 17-13, Partain and Lotman.
Wow, how quickly this turned around. I mean, we're locked up. Partain and Lotman were, you know, they were in trouble, and then they turned this thing around. Casebeer was on fire, but they cooled him off somehow in some way. It looked like they had all the momentum, yeah.
Miss serve is going to help Allen and Casebeer here. They're going to have to dig deep as they did drop set number 1. They are looking for a shot to the semifinal. Option from Lotman. And I like the way Miles Partain lifted that first contact.
Yeah, when you lift the ball like that, you have options, right? A lower pass, you limit the options, and it has to be set. But if you lift it up, then that setter can either attack, they can jump set, they can hit, they can poke it over. And you always want to give your partner some time to get creative.
Again, serving into the wind on that right side, the good side of the court so far. Good indicator is just take a look at our flags here on Stadium Court, just above our stands. Nice read by Billy Allen. And another block. Lotman just sitting on that one.
Yeah, really nice throwdown. You know, it's almost like Lotman and Partain have really quieted Billy Allen. Hasn't been that involved in this as instead, other than his defense, is some spectacular plays in the backcourt. They have chosen to go to Casebeer, and that strategy has worked so far.
Let's switch sides, 16 and 19.
19-16
on
side
one of these
change.
teams, now is the time. Who's ready for Miles and Paul to finish this thing off in straight sets? And who's rooting for Jeremy and Billy to force
And
set
Lotman
number
just
3?
2 away from a semi-final berth. And what a block. Full press from Jeremy Casebeer.
Of the last 12
Jeremy
points.
Casebeer now with 4 blocks, and they've come at timely moments. They need points right now. That was great footwork, steps outside, then presses back into the court. Beautiful move by Casebeer.
And it is match point. It'll be 3 chances for Partain.
Match
and
point now
Lotman.
for Partain and Lotman. They just have to find some defense here to close it out. You can see the blocking signals. And ace! The easy way. Partain and Lotman to the semifinal.
And they are into the semifinal.
Not sure what happened right there. Casebeer, almost as if he wasn't ready for the serve, he let that ball go, Cameron, and it landed a couple feet inbounds. So maybe a little indecision on that point. Unfortunate way to finish.
Yeah, take a look at this last ball, the ace from Paul Lotman. So the kid and the Olympian moving on to the semifinals. What a fun way to get the men's action started here on Championship Sunday in New Orleans. That guy is awfully happy, and he's awfully happy to get it done in just 2 sets. As he waves to the camera, they will be moving on to face off against Phil Dahlhauser and Casey Patterson, the #1 seed in the semifinal.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting, Cameron, how they deal with Phil Dahlhauser's block, right? It'll be a little bit different than Lotman's block, not Lotman's block, Casebeer's block. So it'll be a really awesome matchup. And then you see at the bottom, Buttinger and Field taking on Crab and Sander. Wow, that's what Championship Sunday is all about. These great athletes battling it out. I cannot wait to do these.
All right, so the men's semifinals are now set, but we've got women coming up next. Thanks for joining us here on the AVP Tour.